example, here I'm trying to create what we can call it as a person related. So this particular person information I'm trying to store into this particular A2 application. Getting the pen. How we are going to use with help of this particular REST template as a parameter, we are going to pass this particular person information. From this particular person, it is going to store into this particular A2. And here we are going to use one of the important concept to call JSON also. Internally, the object is going to convert it into the JSON format, and this particular JSON again, it is going to convert it into the our Java object. Okay, so here we are going to use the same Java object here, and over the internet we are going to use this particular object is converted into the JSON, and the same JSON again it will convert it into the Java. So for example, this application is developed with the different technologies. For example, it is a Python. If it is developed in the Python, what happens internally? So the Python object now it will try to convert it into the JSON. Okay, the same JSON now it is trying to communicate it to this particular A2 application. But A2 application now it is implemented with help of our Java language. Now what happens internally? So using this particular JSON, we can easily convert it into the Java. But from the Python to Java, so it is difficult to convert the object here. But using that as a mediator, we can easily convert this particular section here. This is one of the important the format we are going to discuss here, how it is going to work internally. But now observe how this particular, now you can think how this particular REST template is going to play important role. Okay, after this we are going to discuss about the email, how we can send an email here, and finally we'll try to discuss about the like web services. So far REST template, like what is the web services we are having. So we'll focus on the REST related web services, because all the applications nowadays they are trying to discuss about the REST related web services, not the SOAP related here. Okay, these are all the Spring Boot related sections here. So any questions? Okay, so if we don't have anything, now I'm going to discuss about the microservice here, how this particular microservice is going to work internally. This is we need to understand very clearly. So observe carefully what I'm doing here. So why the microservices are introduced here? Because if we observe, first they introduced this section called Spring here. So internally we have some other languages we have. So we'll discuss later regarding this, because these are all the deprecated. Now you can think here Spring is introduced from the Spring. So again, Spring Boot is came. So from the Spring Boot, now what happening here with the help of this particular Spring Boot. So whatever the functionality we have inside the Spring Boot, so while using this particular Spring Boot, they implemented one of the important section called microservices. Okay, so before this particular microservices, what are the approach we are going to follow? Something like a monolithic application. Monolithic application is nothing but we'll have a one database. Okay, so this is the one database we are going to use, and one application like one version control. Version control is nothing but either Git or SVN. Get in the pen. Either we are going to use Git or SVN. So what is the purpose of this particular Git or SVN? It will try to store the code. Whatever the code we are going to implement here, will push into this particular SVN or Git here. Now, if you observe, we have a different types of module. For example, this is the core module. Okay, so this is the core module, and you can see this is something like a product module. Okay, this is the different module, and now you can think this is the search module. Get in the pen. And another module we are going to discuss about the common module. This is the common module, and so another module, if it is a e-commerce application, we are going to write favorite. Okay, this is the one of the favorite module. Now if you see How many modules we are having as of now? 5 modules. So these 5 modules, now we'll push all the 5 modules code into this particular SVN. Okay. For example, in this particular common module, some changes are not yet implemented, or while running the application, some changes are not working. Okay, some changes are not working. Now what happens internally? This entire application, it is going to down. The entire application, even though the core service is running successfully, and along with the core service and product are favorited, these are all the remaining services, like remaining modules are running successfully, but all the modules are going to stop because of this particular common module. In the common module, we have some exceptions here. First, we need to fix this. And once we fix this, what is the next step? What we are going to do? We'll try to build the application. Once the application is built, and deploy the application. So once application is deployed, we are going to test in the different environments here. We have a different types of environments, something like we'll focus on the QA related environment. And later we are going to discuss about the UAT related environment, and finally we'll move on to the production related. Now you can see, so because of this particular common, now what we are doing here, we are trying to fixing the issue and building the application. Once the build application is completed, we are deploying into the different environment like QA, UAT, and production. So these are all the steps. These steps are going to repeated multiple times. These steps are going to repeated multiple times. For next time in the service, if you get any exception, so next time if you get any correlated exception, now what happening? The application, it's going to down. If you get any exception, the application will not work. Because of this particular some exceptions here, the application will down here. And the what happened basically, we are going to lose the business here. This is important here. So you can think here. So e-commerce application. So inside the e-commerce application, we have a one website here. Okay, here we are having the website here, something the user is trying to submit here. While submitting, he got an exception. Whenever he got an exception, he cannot move. He cannot move. Further, he cannot do the other actions. What happens here? First, we need to stop the server. Why we need to stop the server? We need to fix the issue first. Okay, once we fix the issue, again, these processes are same. This process we are going to make, and once we are completed this particular process, then this application will available to the users. So these are all the some business loss we are going to get whenever we are trying to implement the